Hey guys, welcome back to Career Tip Tuesday. Last week we talked about resumes and specifically writing job responsibilities for your work experience on your resume. We're going to continue in the vein of resumes this week and talk about a professional summary and how to write one. A professional summary is a 2 to 4 sentence paragraph at the top of your resume that describes who you are and what you have to offer to an employer, to a prospective employer. So it really needs to be something that captures the reader's attention and really draws out your greatest strengths and highlights your abilities. So we're going to talk about how to craft a professional summary for your resume. Let's get started. So as I said, a professional summary is 2 to 4 sentences long at the top of your resume. Okay, after your heading, your name, address, and all that, and your contact info, comes your professional summary. This is what's going to capture the reader's attention and make them want to read further, right? So writing this can be kind of tricky. You really have to self-reflect and think about what you have to offer and your skill set. So I've come up with kind of a two-step process on making this a little bit easier. So the first thing I want you to do is write down a list of adjectives to describe you as a student or as a worker, what you have to offer as far as your personality, your skill sets, areas of specialization, anything like that. These can be things like driven, focused, leader, student even, organized, compassionate, etc. So once you have your list of adjectives, then I want you to think about your greatest strengths. And if you're not certain what your strengths are, then come visit us. We can help you find those strengths. But if you have a good idea of what your strengths are, then write those down. And this should be a combination of personality strengths as well as areas of study strengths. So if you're a marketing major, then whatever your strongest areas are in marketing, whether that's public speaking or writing for marketing or something like that. So whatever those are, write those down. And then what we're going to do is compare your adjectives to your strengths and try to form those into sentence. So I've prepared kind of an example for you. So let's pretend that I am a biology major, which I was not. So forgive me if my lingo is going to be a little off here. So I'm a biology major, and my strengths as far as being a biology major are lab research, biochemistry, and epidemiology. Yeah, I got that from a TV show on Netflix. So let's say you're into studying viruses and learning how they impact the human body and all that, and that's one of your strengths, your areas of specialty. Some of your other strengths, maybe analytical, investigative, things like that. And like I said, come see us and we can help you pull out those strengths for you. And then go on to adjectives. So some adjectives that could describe me if I were a biology major: driven, high achieving, and I've already said investigative, analytical. Those kind of overlap in the strengths and adjectives as well. So, and then to put these all together, my example is, and remember, we're supposed to be in third person present, always in a resume. I say always, third person present or past tense, depending on whether the job was in past tense or if you're currently working. But your professional summary is always going to be in present tense, third person presence. So, driven and accomplished biology student with 3 years of hands-on lab experience, specializing in biochemistry and epidemiology. Highly investigative and analytical, seeking an internship in a medical lab setting to use strengths and gain a deeper understanding of how viruses impact the human body. That would be a perfectly acceptable professional summary at the top of a resume for a biology student. See, it's not that hard to craft it as long as you can pull out your strengths and describe yourself properly, and then combine those together. That's really all you have to do. So next time you try to write a resume and you sit down and write your summary, remember those 2 steps: strengths, adjectives, not necessarily in that order, but make those 2 lists and then combine them together in sentence form, 2 to 4 sentences. Third person present, Don't use I, me, any personal pronouns like that. And then you'll have the makings of a good professional summary. So that's all I've got for you today. Next week, we're going to dive into another component of resumes. We're going to kind of keep going with this until we complete the resumes, and you have a really good sense of how to sit down and craft these, especially the more difficult sections. There's some parts of making a resume that just requires certain language and verbiage that can be kind of difficult to pull out, especially when you have to self-reflect like this. Also, please remember that our office is still operating. We are still open, helping you guys. So if you have any questions, if you need anything, if you have questions about your major, or if you're a new incoming student, you're not sure about your major, or if you're a current student who feels like maybe their major is not right for them, come see us and we can help you narrow down your interests and your values and what major or career path may be more suitable to you. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next week.